Aging is a natural and unavoidable journey, yet it is often misunderstood. Many associate growing older with weakness, dependence, or a loss of vitality. However, true wisdom reveals a different perspective. In our later years, cultivating a sense of detachment, sometimes mistaken for coldness, is in fact an essential act of self-care. It helps us preserve our emotional well-being, maintain our physical health, and sharpen our mental clarity. In this video, we will delve into the importance of setting boundaries, choosing meaningful conversations, and valuing our time wisely. Through real-life stories, practical advice, and psychological insights, you'll gain the tools to embrace this stage of life with confidence and serenity. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Importance of Setting Boundaries. Many older adults feel an obligation to be available at all times, to answer every call, entertain every guest, and participate in every social gathering. This pressure can be overwhelming and lead to exhaustion. But what if I told you that being a little cold can actually improve your well-being? Take the story of Mrs. Henderson, a retired schoolteacher in Florida. When she first retired, she found herself constantly agreeing to help former students, neighbors, and even distant relatives. She babysat, attended endless community meetings, and gave advice whenever asked. Over time, she felt drained and began resenting the constant demands. One day, she decided to set clear boundaries. She would only say yes to things that truly brought her joy. The result? A happier, more peaceful life. Boundaries are not about being unkind. They are about self-respect. By learning to say no without guilt, you protect your energy for things that truly matter. Healthy boundaries allow you to maintain relationships without feeling overwhelmed. They create space for self-care, personal growth, and meaningful interactions. Imagine a garden. If you let everyone trample through it, pulling flowers and disturbing the soil, the garden will wither. But if you build a fence and allow entry only at designated times, the garden flourishes. Your time and energy are like that garden. They need protection to thrive. Why setting boundaries is hard? For many older adults, saying no feels unnatural. Society has conditioned us to believe that being generous means always saying yes. This mindset is deeply ingrained, particularly for those who have spent years caring for others, whether as parents, teachers, caregivers, or community leaders. Additionally, there is often a fear of disappointing others. What if people think you are selfish? What if relationships suffer? The truth is, true friends and loved ones will respect your boundaries. If they don't, it might be time to reevaluate those relationships. Practical ways to set boundaries. 1. Identify your priorities. Before setting boundaries, clarify what truly matters to you. Do you want more time for relaxation? More energy for hobbies? Stronger relationships with a select few instead of spreading yourself thin? Once you know your priorities, setting boundaries becomes easier. 2. Communicate clearly. People cannot respect boundaries they do not know exist. If someone frequently drops by unannounced and disrupts your routine, let them know, "I love seeing you, but I need a little advance notice. Let's plan our visits ahead of time." If family members constantly ask for favors, set limits. "I'm happy to help when I can, but I need to schedule it around my own needs." 3. Say no without guilt. A polite but firm no is one of the most powerful tools you have. You don't need to give elaborate explanations. A simple "I can't commit to that right now" or "I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on other priorities" is enough. Practice saying no in front of a mirror or with a trusted friend if it feels uncomfortable at first. The more you do it, the easier it gets. 4. Set physical and emotional boundaries. Boundaries are not just about saying no to requests. They also involve protecting your mental and emotional space. If certain conversations leave you feeling drained or anxious, limit your exposure to them. If someone is consistently negative or demanding, it is okay to distance yourself. You can also set physical boundaries by structuring your day to allow for alone time, relaxation, and self-care. For instance, designate a quiet morning routine or an evening ritual that is non-negotiable. 5. Use technology to your advantage. Not every call or message requires an immediate response. If you feel obligated to be available 24/7, consider setting your phone to Do Not Disturb mode during certain hours. Let people know when you are available and when you need personal time. Email autoresponders can also be useful. "I appreciate your message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, but please understand that I prioritize personal time and may not respond immediately. Once you establish and maintain boundaries, you will notice several positive changes. Increased energy. You will no longer feel exhausted from overcommitting yourself. Better relationships. Your interactions will be more meaningful and less stressful. Greater sense of control. You will feel more in charge of your time and emotions. Improved self-worth. Setting boundaries reinforces the idea that your needs matter. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care, not selfishness. It allows you to show up as your best self for the things and people that truly matter. If you have spent years prioritizing others, now is the time to prioritize yourself. As you move forward, start small. Choose one area where you feel overwhelmed and establish a boundary. It might be as simple as declining a request that drains you or carving out a daily quiet time. Over time, these small changes will lead to a more balanced, fulfilling life. Remember, a well-tended garden grows the most beautiful flowers. Protect your time, energy, and peace. You deserve it. Chapter 2. The dangers of rushing and anxiety in old age. Aging often comes with changes in physical ability, cognitive processing, and emotional resilience. Yet despite these shifts, many seniors still feel the need to rush, whether it's hurrying across a parking lot, answering the phone immediately, or reacting impulsively to an emergency. Unfortunately, haste can lead to serious mistakes, unnecessary stress, and even physical harm. Many older adults spent decades of their lives under pressure, raising families, managing careers, and meeting countless obligations. The habit of urgency is deeply ingrained. In younger years, quick responses might have been necessary for work deadlines, parenting emergencies, or other pressing matters. However, as life slows down, this ingrained impulse to rush can become counterproductive, even dangerous. For instance, a retiree who once thrived in a fast-paced work environment may find it difficult to adjust to a more relaxed lifestyle. The need to stay productive can lead to a sense of guilt when slowing down, causing unnecessary anxiety. However, failing to recognize the body's changing limitations can result in physical strain, increased stress levels, and even injury. One of the greatest risks of rushing in old age is the potential for falls. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths among older adults. Many of these falls happen because seniors feel the need to move quickly, whether crossing the street before the light changes, hurrying to answer the doorbell, or trying to grab something before it falls. Consider the case of Mr. Johnson, a retired accountant. One evening, he locked himself out of his house while his 2-year-old grandson was inside. In a panic, he tried to force open the door, breaking the key and making the situation worse. If he had paused, taken a deep breath, and thought through his options, he could have avoided the unnecessary stress and further complications. Another common example involves seniors rushing to catch a bus or climb the stairs quickly, resulting in missteps and painful falls. Slower reflexes, decreased muscle strength, and reduced balance make hasty movements a significant risk. Taking an extra moment to steady oneself, assess the surroundings, and move deliberately can make all the difference in preventing accidents. Beyond physical dangers, the habit of rushing can also contribute to heightened anxiety. The need to respond instantly to stimuli, like a ringing phone, a knock at the door, or an unexpected situation, can trigger feelings of panic. Anxiety in old age is a serious concern as it can lead to increased heart rate, poor sleep, and a heightened risk of chronic illnesses. Many seniors worry about losing their independence, forgetting important information, or becoming a burden to their families. These fears can create an underlying sense of urgency that leads to impulsive decision-making. However, slowing down and practicing mindfulness can help counteract these effects. Taking deep breaths, pausing before reacting, and reminding oneself that not everything requires immediate attention can bring a sense of calm and clarity. In today's digital world, technology plays a role in reinforcing urgency. Smartphones, social media, and instant messaging create an expectation of immediate responses. For older adults who are not as comfortable with technology, this pressure can be overwhelming. For example, some seniors feel anxious when they miss a phone call, fearing that it might have been an emergency. In reality, most messages can wait. Training oneself to prioritize responses and not react instantly to every alert or notification can help reduce stress. Additionally, turning off unnecessary notifications and setting specific times for checking messages can create a healthier relationship with technology. Strategies to cultivate patience and reduce anxiety. 1. Practice mindful breathing. When feeling rushed or overwhelmed, take 5 slow, deep breaths before reacting. This simple practice can lower stress levels and create a moment of clarity before making a decision. 2. Adopt a pause and plan approach. Before taking action, ask, is this urgent? Do I need to act immediately, or can I take a moment to think? This habit can prevent hasty mistakes. 3. Use physical cues to slow down. Place reminders in visible locations, such as a note near the door that says, take your time or move carefully. These small visual cues can help reinforce the habit of patience. 4. Establish new daily routines. Slower, structured routines help create a sense of stability. Whether it's a morning walk, a quiet tea break, or time for reflection, routines can replace the old habit of urgency with a new rhythm of calm. 5. Reframe the idea of productivity. Productivity isn't about speed, it's about thoughtful action. Encourage yourself to appreciate quality over quantity. It's okay to take things one step at a time. 6. Engage in gentle movement practices. Activities like Tai Chi, yoga, or stretching exercises encourage slow, intentional movement. These practices help train the body and mind to embrace patience. 7. Limit unnecessary interruptions. Reducing distractions, such as excessive TV news, social media, or constant notifications, can help create a more peaceful environment that discourages rushed behavior. 8. Cultivate acceptance. Accepting that aging brings changes in speed, ability, and priorities can lead to greater inner peace. Slowing down is not a sign of weakness, but a way to adapt wisely. Aging teaches us the value of patience. Taking a moment to think before acting can prevent accidents, injuries, and regrettable decisions. More importantly, it allows seniors to be fully present in each moment, appreciating life's experiences without the unnecessary burden of haste. Rather than feeling pressured to keep up with the world's fast pace, older adults can embrace a mindful approach to living. By focusing on the present, letting go of unnecessary urgency, and practicing intentional movement, they can enjoy a healthier, safer, and more fulfilling life. As we grow older, it's important to ask what truly requires urgency. Most situations allow for a moment of thought, a deep breath, and a more measured response. By cultivating patience, older adults can reduce stress, minimize risks, and enjoy a greater sense of peace. After all, life isn't a race, it's a journey, one best traveled at a steady, mindful pace. Chapter 3. Protecting your energy from negative people. Not everyone we meet has our best interests at heart. As we grow older, we must be mindful of who we allow into our lives. Toxic individuals, whether old acquaintances, gossiping neighbours, or manipulative family members, can drain our energy and disrupt our peace. Negative energy can manifest in many ways: constant complaining, passive-aggressive comments, or persistent criticism. Some people thrive on drama, and their presence can leave you feeling exhausted, anxious, or even guilty. Recognizing these signs early is crucial in protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Imagine you're at a senior social gathering. An old friend whom you haven't seen in years starts complaining about life, bringing up past grievances and trying to engage you in gossip. You have a choice: entertain the negativity or politely excuse yourself. Choosing the latter is an act of self-preservation. Setting boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect your energy. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut people out, but filters that allow positive, supportive relationships to flourish while keeping toxicity at bay. Here are a few strategies. Limit exposure. If certain individuals consistently bring negativity into your life, consider limiting the time you spend with them. Redirect conversations. If someone starts a negative conversation, shift the topic to something positive or uplifting. Be assertive. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. You don't owe anyone your time or emotional energy. Avoid engaging in gossip. Participating in gossip not only drains your energy but also lowers your own vibration. Choose not to partake in such discussions. Being cold in this context is not about being rude, it's about prioritizing your well-being. Emotional detachment means not allowing external negativity to affect your inner peace. This doesn't mean you don't care about others, but rather that you refuse to absorb their negativity. For example, if a family member frequently complains about life's hardships but refuses to take any steps toward improvement, remind yourself that their problems are theirs to solve. Offer support if necessary, but don't allow their negativity to weigh you down. It is essential to cultivate relationships that uplift and inspire you. Surround yourself with individuals who bring joy, support, and encouragement into your life. These people could be close friends who share similar values and perspectives, mentors who provide guidance and wisdom, community members who engage in meaningful and positive discussions, family members who genuinely care about your well-being. By intentionally choosing to be around positive individuals, you reinforce an environment that nurtures your mental and emotional health. Practicing mindfulness can help you become more aware of how different people and situations affect your energy. When you notice yourself feeling drained after interacting with certain individuals, take steps to reset your energy. Meditation. Spend a few minutes each day meditating to clear your mind. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you process and release negativity. Physical activity, a short walk or gentle exercise can help shake off negative energy. Engaging in hobbies, doing something you love such as reading, painting or gardening can restore your inner peace. There will be times when avoiding negative people isn't an option, especially when they are family members or long-time acquaintances. In such cases, practice the following. Maintain a neutral stance. Avoid getting emotionally involved in their complaints or drama. Practice active listening without absorption. Listen to their concerns without internalizing their negativity. Offer solutions sparingly. Sometimes people don't want solutions, they just want to vent. If that's the case, acknowledge their feelings without taking on their burdens. Use polite disengagement. If a conversation turns toxic, excuse yourself kindly but firmly. One of the most freeing realizations is that you cannot change people. You can only control your reactions to them. Some individuals are deeply rooted in their negative mindset, and trying to change them will only drain your energy further. Instead of attempting to fix or convince them, focus on maintaining your own peace. Sometimes protecting your energy means embracing solitude. Spending time alone can be incredibly healing and restorative. It allows you to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your inner self without external influences pulling you in different directions. Use this time to reflect on what truly matters to you, engage in spiritual or mindfulness practices, enjoy personal hobbies without outside distractions. Letting go of guilt. A common challenge in distancing yourself from negative individuals is guilt. You may feel responsible for their feelings or worry about how they will perceive you. Remember, prioritizing your well-being is not selfish, it is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself first, you are in a better position to be there for others in a healthy way. Ultimately, protecting your energy is about making a conscious choice to prioritize peace and well-being over drama and negativity. This requires self-awareness, courage, and a commitment to surrounding yourself with positivity. You deserve to live a life filled with joy, harmony, and meaningful connections. By setting boundaries, practicing mindfulness, and embracing positive relationships, you can create a space where your energy remains protected, allowing you to live with greater peace and fulfillment. Chapter 4. Selective Socializing, Quality over Quantity. Many retirees feel pressured to attend every reunion, social club, or gathering. While social interaction is important, too much of it, especially when it lacks genuine connection, can be exhausting. Instead of fostering joy, an overwhelming social calendar can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. Learning to prioritize meaningful connections over mere social obligations is a skill that leads to a more fulfilling retirement. Society often portrays retirement as a golden age filled with social events, travel, and new experiences. For many, this means an influx of invitations to reunions, gatherings, and community clubs. While these opportunities can be wonderful, they can also create pressure to be socially engaged all the time. Some retirees fear that declining invitations might make them seem antisocial or distant. Others worry that reducing their social commitments may lead to isolation. However, constantly attending events without genuine enthusiasm can be just as lonely as having no social interactions at all. Take Mr. Thomas, for example. After retirement, he joined multiple clubs, attended weekly coffee gatherings, and made an effort to reconnect with old colleagues. Initially, he enjoyed the busy social life, but soon he started feeling drained. The conversations were often superficial, and he found himself exhausted by the need to keep up appearances. Over time, he realized that spending time with a few close friends who truly understood him was far more fulfilling than attending every event simply out of obligation. He chose depth over breadth in his relationships and never looked back. Human beings thrive on connection, but not all connections are equally valuable. True friendships do not demand constant performance. They provide comfort and allow you to be yourself. When you engage with people who genuinely care about your well-being, conversations become enriching rather than draining. Consider the difference between spending an evening with a close friend versus making small talk at a large social event. A deep conversation with someone who truly listens can be far more rewarding than exchanging pleasantries with dozens of acquaintances. Retirees who prioritize quality connections report higher levels of happiness and emotional well-being compared to those who focus solely on maintaining a large social circle. One of the most important lessons in selective socializing is learning to say no. Many retirees struggle with this, fearing that turning down invitations will offend others. However, declining social engagements that do not bring joy is an act of self-care. Here are a few strategies to set social boundaries without feeling guilty. Be honest but kind. When declining an invitation, a simple response like, "I appreciate the invite, but I've been focusing on more personal time lately," is sufficient. Offer an alternative. If you wish to maintain a connection but prefer a more intimate setting, suggest meeting for coffee or a walk instead of attending a large event. Prioritize your well-being. Recognize that your time and energy are valuable. Spending them wisely enhances your overall happiness. Not every friendship needs to be deeply meaningful, but it is important to distinguish between relationships that enrich your life and those that drain you. Some key signs of a quality friendship include mutual support. Both parties uplift each other rather than one person always seeking support without reciprocating. Ease of communication. Conversations flow naturally without pressure or forced effort. Respect for boundaries. True friends respect your time, decisions, and personal space. Shared values or interests. Having common ground fosters deeper connections. If a friendship consistently leaves you feeling stressed, exhausted, or undervalued, it may be worth reconsidering how much energy you invest in it. While socializing is valuable, solitude also plays an essential role in happiness. Many retirees find that time spent alone can be just as rewarding as time spent with others. Solitude allows for self-reflection, relaxation, and personal growth. Engaging in activities like reading, gardening, meditating, or even taking solo trips can bring immense joy and fulfillment. It is a common misconception that solitude equates to loneliness. In reality, those who embrace solitude often experience a greater sense of peace and self-awareness. They are comfortable with their own company and do not rely on external validation for happiness. Finding a balance between social interactions and personal time leads to a more harmonious life. For some retirees, selective socializing may also mean forming new, more aligned friendships. Joining groups or engaging in activities that genuinely interest you can lead to meeting like-minded individuals. Consider these avenues for building meaningful connections. Interest-based clubs. Instead of general social gatherings, seek out book clubs, hiking groups, or art workshops that align with your passions. Volunteering. Giving back to the community connects you with individuals who share similar values. Lifelong learning. Enrolling in classes or attending lectures can introduce you to intellectually stimulating companions. Retirees who focus on quality over quantity in their social lives often experience several long-term benefits, including reduced stress. Fewer obligations mean less pressure to maintain relationships that do not serve you. Stronger emotional well-being. Deep, meaningful friendships provide genuine support and companionship. More personal time. With fewer social commitments, you have more freedom to engage in activities you truly enjoy. Greater sense of purpose. Investing in relationships that align with your values fosters a sense of fulfillment. Retirement is a time to enjoy life on your own terms. Selective socializing allows you to cultivate relationships that bring joy rather than depleting your energy on superficial engagements. By prioritizing meaningful connections, setting boundaries, and embracing solitude when needed, you create a life that is both socially rich and personally fulfilling. Ultimately, the quality of your relationships will always matter more than their quantity. Choose to spend your time with people who uplift you, and do not be afraid to step away from social pressures that no longer serve your well-being. Life is too precious to be spent on anything less than authentic connection. Chapter 5: Financial Privacy and Avoiding Unnecessary Discussions. Money is a sensitive topic at any age, but for seniors, discussing finances can sometimes lead to unintended consequences. Whether it's prying relatives asking about your pension, acquaintances fishing for investment tips, or even well-meaning friends offering unsolicited financial advice, financial conversations should be handled with care. Protecting your financial privacy is not about secrecy. It's about security, peace of mind, and maintaining control over your own financial well-being. As you age, financial security becomes a top priority. Retirement funds, pensions, social security benefits, and personal savings are meant to sustain you through your later years, and disclosing too much about your financial situation can make you vulnerable to various risks, including unwanted scrutiny, financial exploitation, or even fraud. Maintaining financial privacy is not just about avoiding nosy questions, it's about protecting yourself from identity theft, financial scams, and family conflicts that can arise when money becomes a topic of discussion. The less people know about your finances, the less opportunity there is for misunderstandings or manipulation. If someone asks about your income, savings, or investments, it's perfectly acceptable to set boundaries. Not every question requires a direct answer. Here are some polite ways to deflect financial inquiries. Keep it brief and neutral. A simple response like, "I'm comfortable, thank you for asking," or "I have what I need and am grateful for it," can end the conversation without revealing too much. Redirect the conversation. If someone persists, try steering the discussion toward a different topic. For example, "Oh, I'd rather not talk about that, but I'd love to hear about your latest trip." Or, "Let's talk about something more interesting. How's your family?" Use humor. A light-hearted response can also work, such as, "Oh, my financial advisor would have a heart attack if I started giving out details." Or, "Let's just say I'm not on any richest people lists yet." Set firm boundaries. If someone repeatedly asks about your finances, despite your attempts to avoid the subject, it's okay to be more direct. "I prefer not to discuss my finances," or "I keep financial matters private," are clear yet polite ways to establish your limits. One of the most delicate aspects of financial privacy is handling financial discussions within the family. Unfortunately, some seniors find themselves pressured by relatives to share their financial details, co-sign loans, or give gifts and early inheritances. While generosity is admirable, it's essential to ensure that your own needs are met first and that you don't feel obligated to disclose or distribute your assets. How to handle family asking for money. Assess the request objectively. If a family member asks for financial help, consider their situation carefully. Are they facing a genuine emergency, or is this a pattern of dependence? Do you feel comfortable giving, or do you feel pressured? Set clear boundaries. If you decide not to lend or give money, a firm but kind response like, "I have to prioritize my own financial security," or "I'm not in a position to help financially right now," can make your stance clear. Offer non-financial support. Sometimes offering guidance or resources can be just as helpful. If a family member struggles financially, suggest job opportunities, budgeting strategies, or community resources instead of giving money directly. Be cautious about co-signing loans. Many seniors have been burned by co-signing loans for relatives who later defaulted, leaving them with financial burdens. Unless you can afford to lose the money, it's usually best to say no. Some family members may use emotional appeals or guilt to persuade seniors to share financial information or provide financial assistance. Common tactics include playing on sympathy. You don't need all that money. Why not help your family instead? Bringing up the past. Remember when I helped you with past favor? Now I need your help. Pressuring for inheritance details. What's going to happen to your money when you're gone? To handle such situations, remain firm in your decision and remember that protecting your financial future is not selfish, it's responsible. You can always say, I've planned for my future and want to keep things private, or my financial plans are set and I prefer not to discuss them. Seniors are often targeted by scammers who use sophisticated tactics to gain access to financial information. Here's how to protect yourself. Common scams to watch for. Phone scams. Callers pretending to be from the IRS, Social Security, or banks requesting personal information. Online scams, fake emails or websites asking for login credentials. Investment scams, too good to be true investment opportunities that promise high returns. Romance scams, online scammers posing as romantic interests to gain trust and ask for money. How to stay safe? Never share personal information. If someone calls or emails asking for financial details, do not provide any information. Verify before acting. If you receive a suspicious request, contact the organisation directly using official phone numbers. Shred financial documents. Prevent identity theft by shredding bank statements and other sensitive paperwork before disposal. Monitor accounts regularly. Check your bank statements for unauthorised transactions and report anything suspicious immediately. If you need financial advice, seek guidance from qualified professionals. A financial advisor, accountant, or lawyer can help you create a solid financial plan while ensuring that your information remains confidential. Be cautious about who you trust with financial details and avoid taking advice from unverified sources. How to choose a financial advisor. Check credentials. Look for certified financial planners, CFPs, or professionals with solid reputations. Get references. Ask for recommendations from trusted friends or for family members. Beware of pressure tactics. A good advisor will provide options without pressuring you into quick decisions. Understand fees. Know how your advisor is compensated to ensure their advice is in your best interest. Financial privacy is essential for maintaining control over your finances and protecting yourself from undue pressure, exploitation, or fraud. By setting boundaries, avoiding unnecessary discussions, and being mindful of who you trust, you can ensure your financial security remains intact. Remember, your financial situation is your business alone. You are not obligated to share details about your wealth, investments, or plans with anyone unless you choose to. Keeping financial matters private is not about being secretive. It's about being smart, secure, and in charge of your own future. By mastering the art of financial discretion, you can enjoy peace of mind and focus on what truly matters, living a fulfilling, stress-free life in your golden years. Chapter 6: The Role of Parents in Adult Children's Lives. One of the hardest lessons for aging parents is learning to let go. While it is natural to want to advise your adult children on their careers, marriages, or parenting, unsolicited advice can create tension. Navigating the balance between providing guidance and giving space is an essential part of maintaining a healthy and fulfilling parent-child relationship in adulthood. Consider Mrs. Langley, a mother of 3. She frequently gave her children advice on raising their own kids, managing finances, and even choosing where to live. Over time, she noticed her children pulling away. She realized that while her advice came from love, it was often unwanted. When she stepped back and allowed her children to navigate life on their own, their relationships improved significantly. Sometimes love means allowing others to make their own mistakes. It is painful to watch an adult child struggle, but these struggles are necessary for growth. Parents may have a wealth of experience and wisdom, but offering guidance only when it is requested can foster respect and strengthen bonds. As children grow into adulthood, the parent-child relationship must evolve. No longer dependent on parents for basic needs, adult children seek autonomy and independence. Parents who fail to recognize this shift may find their relationships strained. Instead of functioning as authority figures, parents should aim to become supportive mentors, offering insight without imposing control. A crucial aspect of this transformation is respecting boundaries. For example, if an adult child shares a problem, they may only be seeking a listening ear rather than a solution. Learning to discern when to give advice and when to simply offer support is key. Effective communication is the foundation of any strong relationship. In the context of aging parents and adult children, it is vital to foster open, judgment-free dialogue. Parents should practice active listening, showing empathy and understanding, rather than immediately offering solutions. For instance, rather than saying, "You should do it this way," a more constructive approach might be, "I faced a similar situation once. Would you like to hear how I handled it?" This phrasing respects the child's autonomy while still offering wisdom. Additionally, technology has changed the way families communicate. Some adult children may prefer texting or occasional phone calls rather than frequent visits. Adjusting to these preferences and finding common ground can help maintain a strong connection. There is a fine line between being supportive and being overbearing. Parents should recognize that their children have the right to make choices, even if they do not align with what the parents believe is best. For example, financial decisions can be a common point of contention. A parent may worry about their child's spending habits, career choices, or investments. However, unless financial support is being provided, it is often best to refrain from criticism. Instead, offering general financial wisdom without judgment can be more helpful and well received. Similarly, offering help in a non-intrusive way can make a difference. If a parent notices their child struggling with balancing work and parenting, a simple, "Would you like me to babysit one evening so you can have a break?" is more effective than, "You're doing too much, you need to change how you parent." The former offers support, while the latter may come across as judgmental. One of the greatest joys for many aging parents is becoming grandparents. However, this role also requires sensitivity and respect. Just as parents had their own styles of raising children, adult children may have different approaches to parenting. Instead of imposing opinions on how to discipline or raise grandchildren, it is better to ask, "How can I support you in your parenting journey?" This question invites collaboration rather than criticism. Being a loving and present grandparent without overstepping boundaries helps build strong intergenerational bonds. Many parents have dreams and expectations for their children's lives. However, adult children may choose different paths than what their parents envisioned. It is essential to embrace and support these choices rather than expressing disappointment. For example, if a child decides to pursue a career in the arts rather than a stable corporate job, a supportive parent might say, "I see how passionate you are about this. I hope it brings you happiness and fulfillment." On the other hand, a parent who constantly reminds them of financial risks may inadvertently create resentment and distance. Accepting that each child has a unique journey allows for a more harmonious and fulfilling relationship. Parents should celebrate their children's successes, even if they look different from what was initially hoped for. Aging parents still play an important role in their adult children's emotional well-being. Life continues to bring challenges, from career setbacks to relationship struggles. Knowing that a parent offers unconditional love and emotional support can be a tremendous source of comfort. However, it is also important for parents to share their own vulnerabilities. Expressing their own fears, struggles, or uncertainties can foster deeper connections. Rather than always being the strong one, allowing adult children to offer support in return strengthens the relationship. As parents age, they may become more reliant on their children for assistance. While it is natural for roles to shift, maintaining a sense of independence is important for both parties. This means continuing to engage in personal hobbies, friendships, and activities, rather than solely depending on children for socialization and support. Adult children may feel pressure if they believe they are solely responsible for their parents' well-being. A balanced dynamic, where parents still have their own fulfilling lives, contributes to healthier interactions. Life circumstances are always evolving. Whether it is a child relocating for work, getting married, or becoming a parent themselves, These changes require adaptation from both parents and children. Rather than resisting change, embracing new chapters with an open mind allows for smoother transitions. Finding new ways to connect, whether through visits, video calls, or shared activities, helps maintain strong bonds despite life's inevitable shifts. Ultimately, the role of parents in their adult children's lives is one of guidance, support, and respect. Recognizing when to step in and when to step back, fostering open communication, and respecting boundaries are all crucial elements of maintaining a loving relationship. Every parent-child dynamic is unique, but the foundation of love and mutual understanding remains universal. By embracing change and allowing adult children to navigate their own paths, parents can enjoy a deep and meaningful relationship with their children for years to come. Chapter 7. The Art of Saying No Without Guilt. One of the greatest skills you can develop in old age is the ability to say no without guilt. Whether it's declining an invitation, refusing to lend money, or setting limits on how much time you spend helping others, learning to protect your time is essential. Why saying no matters. As we age, our time and energy become more precious. Retirement does not necessarily mean an abundance of free time. Rather, it offers an opportunity to prioritize activities that bring fulfillment and joy. Learning to say no allows you to set boundaries, reduce stress, and maintain a sense of control over your life. Saying yes to everything can lead to burnout, frustration, and even resentment. Many older adults feel pressured to be available simply because they are not working full-time. Family members, friends, and neighbours may assume you have nothing but free time and consciously or unconsciously impose their expectations on you. Common situations where saying no is necessary. Social invitations. You may receive frequent invitations to events, gatherings, or meetings that do not align with your interests or energy levels. While social engagement is important, overcommitting can be exhausting. A simple, polite response such as, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I won't be able to attend this time," helps you set limits. Requests for favours, whether it's babysitting grandchildren, running errands for a friend, or volunteering for yet another community event, you may find yourself frequently asked for favours. While it is rewarding to help others, your time and energy are finite. Politely declining with a response like, "I'm sorry, but I have other commitments," is perfectly acceptable. Financial requests. Family members may ask for loans or financial help, assuming that you have savings set aside. If lending money is not something you are comfortable with, you can respond by saying, "I wish I could help, but my finances are set for my needs right now." Unwanted advice or influence. As an older adult, you may receive unsolicited advice about how you should spend your time or manage your health. While well-meaning, these suggestions can sometimes feel intrusive. A calm and clear response such as, "I appreciate your concern, but I prefer to make my own decisions," helps establish your autonomy. Many people struggle with guilt when saying no, especially to loved ones. The fear of disappointing others or appearing selfish can be overwhelming. However, it is essential to remember that prioritizing your well-being is not selfish, it is an act of self-care. To overcome this guilt, remind yourself, you have the right to make decisions about your time and energy. Saying no does not mean you don't care about others. Your health and well-being are just as important as anyone else's. Boundaries help maintain healthy relationships rather than harm them. Practical strategies for saying no with confidence. 1. Be direct but kind. A simple and straightforward response prevents misunderstandings. Avoid over-explaining or making excuses. Example, "I'm sorry, but I won't be able to help this time." 2. Use the broken record technique. If someone persists despite your response, calmly repeat your answer. Example, "I understand that you need help, but I won't be able to do it." 3. Offer an alternative if you want to. If you wish to help but cannot meet the exact request, suggest a different way. Example, "I can't babysit this weekend, but I'd love to take the kids for a few hours next week." 4. Practice saying no in advance. If saying no feels difficult, rehearse responses in front of a mirror or with a friend. The more you practice, the easier it will become. 5. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it is okay to decline. Trust yourself to know what is best for you. establishing boundaries is key to maintaining a balanced and fulfilling life. Boundaries help protect your time, health, and emotional well-being. Here are some ways to set boundaries effectively. Communicate clearly. Let others know what you are comfortable with and what you are not. Be consistent. If you set a boundary, stick to it. This reinforces respect for your time. Don't feel obligated to explain. You do not owe anyone a long justification for your decision. Prioritize your well-being. If saying yes compromises your health or happiness, it is not worth it. The benefits of saying no. By learning to say no confidently, you gain more time for yourself and activities you enjoy, reduced stress and anxiety, stronger and healthier relationships, greater self-respect and confidence. Saying no without guilt is an essential skill that brings peace and fulfillment in later life. It allows you to prioritize your well-being, maintain healthy relationships, and live life on your own terms. Remember, your time is valuable, and it is okay to protect it. Saying no is not a rejection of others, it is an affirmation of yourself. Aging is not about losing vitality or becoming dependent. It's about stepping into a new phase of life with wisdom, resilience, and self-respect. Each year adds to our life experience, giving us the power to make better choices, protect our peace, and focus on what truly matters. By embracing a little emotional detachment, or what some might call coldness, we are not isolating ourselves. We are simply prioritizing our well-being. In this stage of life, we must be mindful of our energy, time, and relationships. Not every burden is ours to carry, and not every demand requires our immediate response. Learning to say no is not selfish, it's an act of self-care. Setting healthy boundaries allows us to maintain our inner peace, while still being present for the people who truly matter. Aging with strength and wisdom means knowing when to step back and when to step forward. It's about making conscious choices that align with our well-being rather than feeling pressured by societal expectations. If this discussion resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Golden Years Balance for more insightful content. Share your thoughts in the comments. How have you learned to set boundaries in your golden years? Thank you for being here today. Stay well, and I'll see you in the next episode.